Welcome to Earth Science. This will cover the basics for Earth Science 1 and 2, but we will be looking at the screens for Earth Science 1. They're essentially the same. First, let's take a look at the home page. This is a list of all the units or chapters you'll be covering. There are 15 of them, plus a final exam. That means you will have to work quickly. If you're behind, there's probably no way you're going to catch up. You'll probably need to do 1 unit a week, leaving a week at the end to study for the final exam. This is approved by ASU for lab credit, and as such you'll be expected to do labs either at home or in the classroom or some other site, so be prepared for that. If you don't want the lab course, talk to your counselor and move to the non-lab course or try some other class. But again, this is a lab course. At the top of each home page, both Earth Science 1 and Earth Science 2, you will find helpful pages. I will open these in separate tabs. You're welcome to use tabs too. They are very handy. On the Mac, just hold down the Command key. Similar on the PC. You know what to do. First, the dictionary. But being complicated, we like to call it the glossary. This is handy. You'll be asked a lot of words in your exams for each chapter test. Please know these words. Next, Atlas of the United States, covering the major physiographic provinces. This will be handy later on. Elevations. Maps of the world, including elevations and depths. Plate tectonics map. A very blurry topographic map. The SI units, conversion tables, topographic map symbols will come in very handy later on. The periodic table you will definitely need. This is really important, getting in chapters 4, 5, and 6, looking at rocks and minerals. You'll need the properties of some common minerals appendix. It is 2 pages long and filled with all kinds of cool information. And these tables for sedimentary, metamorphic, and igneous rocks. Also properties of Earth's interior, data regarding weather, humidity, layers of the Earth's atmosphere, radioactive decay, some planetary reference tables, typical strata, and more weather data. Here's a skills handbook. We really don't need it, but I included it. I am speaking quickly because I can make a video no more than 15 minutes in length, and this will be every bit of that, so please bear with me. Again, you will have to work very quickly, 1 unit per week. If you can't do that, you probably need to be in a more simple class. Plagiarism. If you copy, if you share, if you copy and paste, if you leave your email open, all that is a lack of academic integrity. It will earn you a 0. Get used to that. Some students don't think it really is sincere. It is. A sad story. At the end of 1 year, a student who hadn't done much work decided to plagiarize 13 assignments from another student. Excuse me. The direct plagiarizer failed the course and had to take it again. He was planning on graduating. He didn't. The other student, who had a B, ended up with a D-. And it really was a D-. It wasn't a gift. Don't expect gifts. You get what you earn. It's simple. The textbook is online. Each study sheet has links to the textbook. Also, if you're on campus, there is a textbook in each of the labs, but that stays there. In order to be graded, paste the assignments into your answer field, type sentence answers, original answers, non-plagiarized, and it's recommended you work in Google Docs. Already this year, I've had several students say, but I lost my work. True. Did you work in Google Docs? No. Please do that. It has an auto-save feature, so you won't lose much. Also, that way there's a backup of your work. The course builds on itself, so please work sequentially. If you skip an assignment, it won't be graded. Go back and finish the earlier assignments. I am always improving this course, so if you find suggestions, if you find a broken link, write me, or write your other teacher. In my case, jsimpson@pblearners.net. Any mistake, up to 15 points extra credit, 1 point at a time. Always write from your PB Learners account, by the way, not from any other account. I typically work from 2, start that over. I typically work from 10 to 2 each day. I'm only half-time. So if you need to contact me, other than those hours, just leave me an email. Otherwise, try the PV Learners chat. I leave mine on most of the time. If you can't find notes or answers in notes or resources, you are on the web. There are a few web pages out there. Do a search. But again, make sure you answer in your own words. There won't be many calculations in here, so number 9 doesn't really apply to this. This is important. If you are about to end your class period, you're working on something, and you're not going to finish, put the 2 words "not done" as the first 2 words in the top left of your assignment. That way I will know not to grade it. If you don't do that, I will grade it. Each assignment can be submitted only once, so make sure you do this if you don't want your assignment graded. The final exam is worth 20 points just like in a normal class. So the best you can do before the final exam is 80%. Let's skip on out of here and go back to the course. Again, 15 chapters plus the final exam. This is a lot to look at, so let's condense this down and look at just one chapter by clicking on this little box in the top right corner of chapter 1. You can do the same thing in any other chapter. Each chapter begins with a quote. I probably will ask questions about this in the study sheet. The study sheets, by the way, change throughout the year, so if you're planning on utilizing the study sheet of somebody else, don't. It'll be obvious, 1, that you did it, and 2, who you copied from. Each chapter begins with objectives. Objectives are the things you should be able to do or know when you're done with a chapter. Every good teacher starts with objectives. You've had good teachers and you've had those that weren't. A good teacher knows what you will be able to do when you're done with the chapter. Why? Because that's what he or she is teaching to. These are the things that you'll be quizzed over. These are the words that are new that will be used in those quizzes. Make sure you can do all this and use all these words before you take each chapter test. In each chapter there are objectives. There also are resources for learning. And in here is a link to each chapter in our textbook that we'll be using. This is the introductory section for chapter 1. The introductions usually are short and don't have a lot of information, but I'd look at them. These little buttons up here, you can't click on them. Sorry about that. These chapters open in a new window. Just get used to that. Also, this will lead you to the videos, although the videos will be linked also from inside the assignments. Sometimes the videos take a while to load. If that's the case, just go back to your course and start working on something else. If there's a problem with a video, don't write me. I can't help you. I'm not in the room with you. Your AT is in the room with you if you're at a school, or if you're at home, it's your job to make sure that you have a working computer. Remember that hundreds of students are using this every day, and we know that most of this works. On occasion, a website will go down. Let me know if that happens. Again, I'll correct it and give you extra credit for pointing it out if it's something we can correct. Now, these are breadcrumbs up here. You can navigate all over using these. Very handy. Every chapter will have a study sheet. This is the study sheet for chapter 1. It really is long. And it will lead you to the section that you need to read in its entirety. You're welcome to skip it, but it'll be hard to answer the questions. And the questions are conceptual, not just facts. I'm not going to ask you what is a system. I might ask you what would be different about the Earth if this particular system were missing. So you not only have to know what system is, you have to apply the concept. Notice that this opens in a new window, so these questions stay open and you can work. When you've read each of these sections and you're ready to answer the questions, copy these, go to Edit My Submission, and if you don't want to work in Google Docs, I'd rather see you do that. You can work in here and take the chance of losing it first. It's recommended that you work in a different color or a different font, something like that, and you can change all that by using this stuff up here. This is a way to change font color. It's not a big deal though. Excuse me. When you're done, Click Save Changes. But again, if you're near the end of the hour and you aren't done, put that at the top, just showing you how to mess with the fonts, and then you save it. I will know then not to grade this. Don't back out like I just did. Again, there will be videos, and the videos will have questions with them. You watch the video, you paste the questions in, and your full sentence original answers. There are labs. There are little assignments, and there are communication points along the way. Tests. Every chapter has a test. There will be vocabulary, multiple choice, resorting, essay questions. They're pretty extensive, but they're not hard. What's weird is you know the test questions before you ever take the test. What do I mean? Go back to here. This is where the test questions are taken from. Use the objectives. They will help you. There's no need to hide what you're supposed to know. I think it should all be out there. Now, when you're done with all your chapters and you're ready to take the final exam, check your grade book. Your grade book. In your view, it may be on the right side, I'm not sure. There are two ways grades are listed in the grade book. One, sum of points, and other course grade. In sum of points, and I might get this backwards, so forgive me. In one of these, if you've done one assignment and got 90%, it'll say you have 90%. If you're at the end of the course, 14 weeks into the semester, and you have 90% on one assignment, it'll say you have 90%. Is that an accurate assessment of your grade? No. The better grade, I believe, is course total, which can go up to 80% maximum before you take the final exam. If you want to take a 0 on any assignment, just put down, I will take a 0 on an assignment, but that will bring your grade down. It's 59% below an F, so I recommend you not do that. Once you're ready to take the final exam, write your teacher, give 48 hours for confirmation or approval, and in the meantime, take your end-of-course survey. Off-campus students, remember that you have to have 112.5 hours logged. You do that by using the attendance link in the left margin. Right there. You're welcome to email me, chat me. Remember that we can see everything as teachers. We see what you visit, what web pages, how much time you are online, if you did or didn't visit the notes. So please, during your class period, work on this stuff. It's best if you write me with specific questions. For example, I don't understand the difference between metamorphic and igneous rock formation under these extreme conditions, as listed in question 3 of chapter 4. That's specific. Here's an example of a question I've gotten. And I'm not kidding. I don't get the assignment. No assignment, no name, no anything. So please be specific. Now, if you have questions about something I haven't covered, please write me. I will add on to this, but I can't add on to this particular one because we're at 13 minutes and 40 seconds. Let's move on to the chapter 1 lecture.